Good evening, everyone. Welcome to UF Undercover. I have Tom Wood with us tonight. He is one of the judges from Illustrators of the Future, writers and illustrators of the future, I should say, but he's one of the illustrator judges. He's a great guy. I've known him for about 2 years, and I've had a lot of fun hanging out and talking with him. He's got great artwork, and we're going to get into that in just a few minutes. But if and I'm going to bring this up real quick before we get into everything, if you want to meet the guy, your illustrator or a writer for that matter, be sure to submit to Writers and Illustrators of the Future, and you might win. And if you win, you'll get to meet him. He's a cool guy. Got a lot of great artwork. Got his act together. He's like the rest of us that seem to attend this, a workaholic, and that's being polite. Okay, we're glad for whatever you were telling me there, thing. And all right, good for you. Sorry, guys, something just popped up on my screen trying to drive me to drinking here. And okay, there we go. I just had to get it out of my way. But no, he's a workaholic like everybody else I've met that works or goes, that wins. If you win, judge, or just simply part of Writers and Illustrators of the Future, you are probably compulsive workaholic.
That's fair.
It's I know it's a tough thing to say sometimes, but really and truly, everybody there can't help themselves. I mean, you got to look at it from our point of view. See, like Tom, he's taken 10 days out of his life and going down there. He's a busy man. He's got a lot of stuff going on. He's a talented artist. He's got a lot good in demand. And then he spends 10 days down there with these young illustrators, or 7-9 days with these illustrators, helping them to learn not just to find points about being an artist, because there's more than just being an artist involved here. Okay, a lot of people can draw, a lot of people could illustrate, but there's more to it. There's business part of this, how to handle it, what to do with customers, ideas. I mean, it goes far beyond just being an artist or just drawing, I should say. And then, of course, there's always what medium you prefer and things like that. But anyway, welcome, Tom Wood. How you doing tonight, man?
Looking good. First of all, let me say thank you for inviting me on the show. I've been anxious to come on here for the past 2 years, ever since we first met in LA in 2021. And yeah,
Tom's a bad influence.
Thanks for having me.
I'm just saying, Tom's a bad influence. Not as bad as that Chris guy, though.
It was getting a little tame at the award ceremony, so I might have, steered you guys with a couple of bad decisions.
We all had a really good time, guys. I mean, there's a lot that goes on. I mean, in all fairness, I mean, they get there, they're working the whole time they're there. And it's not just, and I'll let Tom verify this, but it's not just the fact that they're teaching, something's going on all day. Okay. And in the evening, sometimes there's movies, sometimes there's barbecue, sometimes there's events. And then there's the reveals, and there's just something going on from the time you get up until the time you go to bed. And for most of us, I don't think any of us got to bed before midnight, 1 a.m. And that's probably even early for some of us.
Yeah, it was never a midnight. I think it was 3, 4 o'clock in the morning for some of those nights. But
a good chunk of them nights were 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Well, you're right. It was a learning experience for those kids from the time they woke up. It is hardcore. From 9 o'clock till 7 o'clock, they are in one class after another, where they're learning how to price their artwork, learning new techniques, learning how to present themselves, and then around 7 o'clock after dinner, it's we've got several different movies or the award show, which is fantastic for the kids. But in itself is kind of a lesson for them as far as how to present themselves, how to act in front of a crowd, and meet people, because connections in the art business is half of it.
It is. It's Tom does a good job with him. He's really laid back with these people. And what you got to remember, ladies and gentlemen, I got a bad habit of calling them youngins because I'm an old fart. But really and truly, a lot of these people are 30, 40. This year, I think it went from 16 to 70. Last year, it was like 17 to 68. So first off, that tells you you're never too old or too young to enter. I don't think it matters. And I've met just a lot of nice people there. I got to say, somebody asked me this question the other day, and I'll let Tom iterate on this, but I had somebody ask me the other day, he said, is everybody who wins a geek, a nerd, or a freak? I guess it would have to be your decision to make, not to me. I said a lot of these people are really nice. A lot of them are not introverts, which a lot of artists are. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I've met a lot over the years, and some are introverts, but a lot of these are outgoing, really seem to be wanting to go somewhere with their life. And I've always been surprised by the Gala that they don't screw up on stage. I know they rehearse it, but still, I mean, these are people who have never stepped on a stage in their entire damn life, and they're getting up there and they're doing their thing. And I got to say, everybody who's involved in that, I'm proud of. But you have to get up on that stage too. Doesn't make you nervous, man?
Not for me. I mean, you're right. I've noticed the same thing. These kids get up there and they seem to be naturals at it. I don't know if they've rehearsed it a million times. It doesn't seem like it. They seem just very comfortable in the spotlight. Luckily for me, when I go up there, I've got 3 teleprompters, making sure that I don't mess up too bad. And so I just have to get up there and read, and it's real easy. But as far as the kids, they seem to handle themselves well. And the whole class has, especially this last year, was some of the most outgoing, ambitious young artists I've seen. Incredibly talented, wanted to know everything. Even when they weren't required to be with the judges, they were hanging out with Echo, myself, and Larry Elmore, and just bombarding us with question after question. Just a sponge for every piece of information they could get. So I have high hopes for all of them.
Oh, I do too. I love when they would ask me, can I talk to the judge? What do you mean? I said, every judge here is approachable. So I'll be honest with you. I said, you're welcome to talk to any judge. If they're busy, they'll tell you they're busy, and you can come back and see them later. But I said, they're here for y'all. I said, that's what they're here for. And really? I said, yeah, most everybody here will talk to you. I said, there's no big snobby judges around here.
No.
I said, they don't always want to talk to me. I said, tell them what I'm going to ask them. I said, but it's different for y'all. And I said, but it is really a thing that I find. I just have been impressed by the whole deal. I wasn't, because I used to give John a lot of hard time about this when he contacted me about 4 years ago about this. I was like, you're nuts, dude. I was like, no way, it's not true. Somebody's giving somebody money somewhere. Somebody's being paid off. Oh, yeah, you're probably taking these little kitties' artwork for $1,000 and we'll get you in the contest. I said, there's some BS going on. But actually, it's true. Before we switch topics, guys, it's actually all true. Writers and Illustrators of the Future is a great thing to get involved with. If y'all can get out there, if you can win and get out to L.A., get flown out to L.A., to get to stay at the Roosevelt Hotel on Hollywood Boulevard, eat some funky hamburgers that cost like $30, but still you'll have a good time, and you'll learn more in that week as a writer, as an illustrator, than you probably learned in the last 15 years.
Right. I've spent 30 years talking to different artists that were extremely talented. They seemed to have the potential to do whatever they wanted to, and they just couldn't find ground to get started on. And if you're good at illustrating, if you're good at design and that kind of stuff, especially in the fantasy art world, then submit artwork to these people. If you get in, what is there, 20 winners every year that they bring up there? I think it's like 20, 25 winners that get selected.
Yeah.
And
you get 12 and 12 and 12.
You get subjected to it's such a leg up. If you want to do this for a living, there's no better place than to submit your artwork to Illustrators of the Future.
So there was 25 last year, and 5 of them had jobs before they left.
Yeah,
I was like, wow. I mean, that's impressive. And one of the writers who came in, who had won, actually wrote a trilogy before he got there for the contest. So that actually makes 6. So I mean, it's a big boost. I mean, when you win this contest, people are going to be like, wow, they're going to have to take you serious.
Absolutely.
It's a serious contest.
And our winner this year, Zane, remember Zane, who won the Grand Champion prize? I mean, I've hired him since the show's been over. I'm working on 2 different projects with him right now.
Well, he's talented. The boy's talented. And
absolutely.
I watched a lot of people. I always liked it because the first year I sat in with all the illustrators. And I just would watch them because, y'all would be talking or showing whatever. And everybody's got a pad, either a piece of paper or a pad, something they're drawing on while y'all are talking. Everybody. I mean, I've even watched Echo do it. She'll be over there drawing herself, and it's just cool to watch because you see so much talent there. And the person on stage is already talented. And you see all this other talent sitting out there knowing that you may actually be seeing their work in the future. To me, it's great. Same thing with the writers. I mean, it's great. It's stuff that I may actually get to see in the future. I'll be really happy with that. It's one of the reasons I like going, because I tell them when I do the press thing, I always tell them, I said, now in the future, I might want a favor here now. When you're rich and famous. I said, I might want a favor. And But no, whoever sent that question, I'm only there. I'm there for two reasons: to do interviews, and then I do one little small lecture the last day on how to deal with people like me. And when I'm having one of my days is what I mean. It's it's I just try to make them understand that they're in control, even though the host always acts like they're in control. They're in control. Don't put up with a lot of BS. Take control of your interview and go on. And I said, when a host tells you he's read your book, question him on it. Oh yeah, when a host, or if they said, "Oh yeah, I've looked at all your artwork," well, mention a piece or two and see if they actually have. It's I don't lie about it. I either tell people yay or nay because sometimes I have time and sometimes I don't. But a lot of hosts lie, and that gives you the footing. You're now in charge of that interview because you just made a host look like an idiot. So you're now, and the host get a little pissy about it, but still you control and don't. And if you feel like you're being abused, get the hell up and walk off. Or if you're on the internet, say click. Or if you're on stage, just get up and say, well, thank you, and I'll see you later. And adios. Don't put up with it because in the end, they're going to win and you're going to lose. So because they're there, a good host or a good moderator for that matter can easily turn the tide on even a famous person. It's because it's what they do for a living.
Right.
And
so that's good ratings to get somebody worked up and have them,
Yeah, and artists and authors are easier to aggravate because they're talented people, and sometimes they're easy to irritate. It's over the years I've managed to irritate one or two. This guy sent me his book. I read his book, and the book made absolutely no sense to me. I was like, so he come on the show. I asked him some questions. He got all offended. I'm like, don't get offended. I said, I just don't understand. I said, just treat me like an ignorant reader and explain. He got the more questions I asked, the madder he got. So. In the end, we got over to talking about who was illustrating the book. I said, whoever was doing the illustration was fabulous. He did a great job. And he starts going on and on about that individual. So, but anyway, we're going to get away from writers of the future now. So, Tom, early days, what made you think you could write? I mean, what made you think you could draw?
I started doing it.
I know you from Arkansas, so were you like out with a knife whittling on a tree or some shit?
Not far from that. Actually, it was on the like the school bus going to to school in the mornings. I would be sketching and stuff like that. But I started even before school even started, like 4 or 5 years old. I was drawing dinosaurs and the Incredible Hulk with Lou Ferrigno. Remember that show in the 70s? That's about the time I was like 6 or 7 years old. So I was drawing a lot of that kind of stuff. I was into dinosaurs and I was drew constantly. And then once I got into school, I kind of quickly became known as the class artist, and all the kids would always want to come up and see what I was working on. And any kid that's in school, it's all about attention. You want to see what your thing is, and apparently art was mine, and I found that at an early age.
Yeah, you good. I've seen a lot of your work, so which we're going to get into in a little while. But I'm gonna be honest about this. I've never been really good about paying compliments. So I tell us when I was at Writers of the Future, John had asked me something. And I said, "Oh no, I think they're extremely talented." I said, "All the judges I've seen," because I got to meet you, Santos, and Echo all at the same time. And even though y'all have different styles, you just are fabulous artists. And I like the command of color, especially with you and Echo. It's just, people. I called Echo Eco for a whole year. She was so
appreciated that.
Why she didn't slap the crap out of me is beyond me. I have no idea.
She's too nice for her own good.
And I did. I would remember sometimes, but it was just a stupid thing on my part. Okay, so I just and if I don't stop it, I'm gonna end up calling her Eco again. Anyways, I got to see all three of y'all's work, and I, for some reason, certain colors, or let me rephrase that, certain the way colors are laid sometimes grab my attention more than sometimes the actual image. I don't know why. It's probably some kind of retardism. Oh, I used that word. Oh Lord, I'll be in trouble. But it's people. Never mind. We're not even going to go there. It does for some reason. Sometimes the color will grab me before the actual artwork will, or the actual image in the artwork will. So like I'll be walking by someone, I'll say, "Wow, look at that purple, blue, green," kind of thinking, "Wow, that's kind of Mardi Gras looking." And then I'll actually stop and look at what it actually is. And then I'm like, well, that's really cool. So color to me is an important thing. And, maybe from watching some of the classics, unfortunately, when I was young, I had to see every classic artist that ever exists. Don't get me wrong. Some of them I like. Some of them like, I don't know how y'all call that art. My dog could draw better than that. I really have a Chihuahua that's probably more talented than half of the classic artists I've seen. So we're just going to leave that at that. But it's just weird for me. Some things when I look at it, I just have a hard time thinking of as art, and some things I don't. Yeah, but also Joe can only draw a stick man, so Joe should never be judging art in any shape, form, or fashion. To be frank about it, but both of y'all notice y'all have a really good grasp of color. Larry does too. Larry's got a little different style, but I mean, all y'all have a great grasp of color. Seem to fill it in. Shadowing is great. And just listen to Santos that one night, I learned more about shadowing than I learned in like 15 years of watching artists.
Right.
I used, you know, I hate to say it, but I used to love the big floppy haired guy. What was his name? Ross? Don't ask me.
Yeah.
Don't ask me. That's another weirdness that it would like zombie out on him or something. I was like,
yeah, Bob Ross. It's mesmerizing to watch him. He was so good and he was so fast.
I'm like, wait, you're painting with a spatula? What the hell is this? What kind of art? But hey, it caught my attention, and for some reason, it stayed with me. But art's always been a big thing. It's always been important in our family, and they wanted all of us to really have a background in art and understanding. My mom just wished I had art talent, you know, that I could draw something other than stickmen and stuff like that. You could give me a digital pad, it would still be a stickman. I'm just saying that's what it would come out as. Some people that have talent, some don't. I mean, everybody's got talents, just in different things. But I really do enjoy y'all's work. So, I mean, here we are, we young guy running around, you know, getting in trouble and just drawing away. So I can already tell you like drawing characters, you know, so, you know, things like the MC universe or the DC universe, which we were talking about earlier. So, I mean, did you get into a bunch of them or did you move on to something else? I mean, as you got older, I know your tastes were going to change, but you still got stuff you're going to like from your childhood as well.
Almost everything in my childhood was always fantasy based. I mean, that was the fun stuff to draw, whether it was either warriors or monsters, dragons, something that, you know, I thought was exciting to draw and it evoked some kind of emotion. It was never, you know, hillsides and pots with flowers in them or anything like that. It was needed to be exciting. And that carried on all the way till when I graduated, you know, high school and went into college at the University of Arkansas. I wanted to do something like cover illustrations for albums because one of my biggest influences was Frank Frazetta. And that's when I was 8 years old when I seen the cover for the which cover was it? It's the Molly Hatchet cover, which actually right here. Hold on.
Go ahead, get it. We got time. Grab it up there, baby.
Yeah, I seen this baby at.
There you go. You got it.
It was at Walmart behind one of those glass cases you could reach your hand in, but you couldn't pull it out because it just was a little hole. So I could reach in there and grab it and just pull it as close to my face as I could. And I just studied it for hours, you know, looking at this, you know, the detail of this character and how the painting was done. And, that was just, you know, that was it for me. I knew I wanted to do album covers, and
that's fun though.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But once I got into college and what jobs were really available for artists in the South and especially in the rural South was limited.
Yeah.
So the only illustration job that I could find was working at Champion Awards, which did screen printing. So they did all kinds of artwork, and they had licenses, college licenses, and stuff like that. And they offered me a assistant designer or director's position, which I took. And this was when I was 19 years old. And I took that position, and I learned under my boss for about 3 months, and then they fired him because he was making too much money, and they made me art director. So I was an 18-year-old art director over a $10 million company. So that's pretty much how my professional career started.
See, that's interesting that you took job, because some people would have been like, oh, I don't know if I could do that or not, or you know, people get these ideas in their heads and they only want to do the idea in their head, which unfortunately life doesn't always work that way. I've had to learn that the hard way, let me tell you what, but still, it doesn't always pan out exactly the way you wanted to.
No.
What's that, Carolyn? What do you mean, how long's he been doing? Oh, okay. Never mind. I missed. It was two comments together. I got confused. Yeah, my messenger was like, I don't know, it jumped up or something. So she wants to know what your favorite medium is. Do you paint, draw,
Well, everything
computer?
that's painted is drawn first. I mean, that's kind of the
Sure.
process. Is it's all pencil, and I do a lot of shading studies in pencil, and then I'll go and either paint it traditionally or digitally, which I'd say 80% of the time it's digitally these days, just because it's so much
Easier.
more friendly to be able to format it for different usages. So yeah,
Yes,
it's
and
usually
change
airbrushed
the
in
colors.
Photoshop, but the penciling part and the drawing, the traditional drawing with the pencil, is still my favorite part.
Yeah, well, I know because I talked to a lot of artists and illustrators, and for some reason they like the pencil or the feel of the penciling because a lot of them use stylus now. So,
Right.
same thing. I mean, well, not exactly the same thing, but close enough. The nice thing about stylus is you can draw it out and then you can hit the buttons to fill the colors where you want to put the colors. So it's a little bit cheating, but it works great. So
Yeah, you can do
it's
that.
gotta save. Well, it's gotta save time, man. I mean, when you're got to do work, sometimes it's easier to just save time.
Right.
And then
But
I
yeah,
know
this
some
is my
people like to
stylus
share.
pen. This is kind of what they look like if your viewers don't, if I can get it up there. If your
Yeah,
viewers
there
don't
you go.
know, this is a stylus. It's pressure sensitive, and I use it just like an airbrush, like my old Pache and Badger airbrush that I used to have, 25 years ago.
Well, I mean, the times change and things are made easier for us. Well, I don't want to say exactly easier because it still takes a lot of talent to do it. I was watching some guys the other day doing art for some video games. These guys were cracking me up. Don't get me wrong; they're very talented artists, but they were cracking me up with the comments. This guy started drawing; he'd just go on for like 15 minutes on a rant, and he'd come back. That ain't the color, and then he starts seeing it, taking it out, taking it out, taking it. Then he tried to shade it. It was just hilariously fun. But in the end, it came out to be a nice piece of artwork. But you could see the process, the brain behind it. So now you're working for this company. Yeah, yeah. So when did you decide to go freelance? When did you get brave?
Oh, that was years later. I mean, once I'd worked for a champion for a while, and then I kind of my reputation started getting better. Then I was recruited to Salem Sportswear, and I started doing sports caricatures for that company. And this was in the mid '90s, early to mid '90s, and I did that for a while, and then I got recruited to Starter Sportswear, and I was the art director at Starter when I was 24 years old, and that was over a $33 million division that did hot markets. So I was doing artwork for Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and Sean Kemp and all the greats in the '90s. I was doing caricatures of those guys, and it was just a tremendous amount of fun. And
Yeah,
then,
well, that's big names too to be doing art for. I mean,
right.
a lot of these people want to know who's doing their artwork, so that's an excellent thing. But I didn't mean to interrupt. It just got me thinking.
Yeah, that was a great course. That was a great chapter in my career. And then Starter, unfortunately, the hot markets division, my division, was the only division making money at Starter, and they the shoe division and the jacket division was bleeding money, and they decided to close the company, and they kicked us all out. They, on one day, called us all down to the second floor and kicked us all out, and said we're closing shop. So that day, I decided I would never ever work for another company again. This was when I was 27, and then I started my freelance career after that. But it was those years working for those companies was invaluable. I would, recommend anybody that's getting into work for a company, because you get exposed to so much other talented people that you get to work next to and just glean that information and that knowledge from, and borrow some of their look if you want. If you like what they're doing, borrow some of it, make it your own, and that's how artists develop.
It is. It's talent. The more people around you, the more you learn, the better you become. It's what's that, Jimmy? What do you mean? Does he have a favorite color? But I don't understand it. So you just want to know if he has a favorite color, like blue, green, red, pink, orange. Is that what you're asking? All right. You got a favorite color?
I would say maybe.
I know I hate when people ask me that question
because I'm always. I guess blue would be my favorite color.
Yes, I go
blue or maroon, maybe.
Yes, I go a little maroonish purple too. I don't know. It's somewhere up in that area. It depends what kind of mood I'm in, I guess. It's true though. I mean, I like a couple of colors, and when people ask me my favorite movie, I'm like, I can give you like the top 10 maybe. I don't have one favorite. Yeah. It's and I don't get to watch much TV anymore, so I get behind the times on what's going on. Thank God I got a family full of people who like to watch television. Yes. I never know what the hell's going on. Oh, you mean when he was talking about Frank? No, I always say he looks like Dean Martin. when he was doing his he gave I guess a piece in the gala. He actually gave a little talk that was on the screen, and the whole time I'm watching it, because this is a talented artist we're talking about, he reminds me of Dean Martin. Something about the way he holds himself, his hair, his face. I don't know, guys. It's just one of them things.
No, yeah, Frank Frazetta was. I mean, dude was he was a man's man, and
Yeah.
very confident. He knew, what he brought to the table, and so even when he was shitting all that information on, his illustration style and his philosophy behind artwork, he was kind of leaned back, and he had his hair was gelled up, and it was, had that little curl, Dean Marshall, or not Dean Marshall,
He was.
Dean
I don't know.
Marshall curl going on in the front. It was impressive.
He's definitely in control of his faculties. Well, it's hard these days because there's only X amount. Being manly man in today's society, guys, is not the easiest thing to do.
No,
you gotta walk a much finer line than you did. Yes, well, thank you, Gene, and thank you, Sarah. Yes, but I'm an ass, so I can get away with it. because see, like, y'all actually care about people's opinions. I care about very few people's opinions. So I don't. My feelings don't get hurt easy. Yes, you have to be someone really close to me. Other than that, or someone I respect. Other than that, I'm kind of like, okay, and why should I care what you think? what does it really matter what you actually think about me?
What did Sarah say? What was Sarah's question?
Where did it go? Let me go scroll for it. Oh, no, Sarah, you can't ask that question. I'm sorry. Yes, he is married, by the way. I'm sorry, guys. And his wife does not look like she put up with no foolery, so y'all better just move on. She asks us, what? Every time a good-looking guy comes on the show, you got to ask if he's married. You and what's her name? Julie. Yes, that's her name. They always ask if they're married.
Nice.
Because y'all are single. I know y'all are single, attractive women, but regardless, you should. It's not a question you should just blurt out like that. But what's the other question I've seen go by? Oh, okay. No, that's a fair question. So she wants to know. So you had mentioned fantasy earlier, and she really wanted to know about, when you're talking about fantasy, or you're talking about things like the Marvel Universe or Dungeons and Dragons, or all of it combined, or
mostly Dungeons and Dragons. My first introduction to fantasy artwork was the writings of Robert E. Howard. Of course, back in the 30s, he wrote Conan novels as like dime store, novels, or in Pulp Fiction. It was, but he did all these stories for years, doing Conan the Barbarian. In fact, there was enough pieces of his works to build an entire chronology, the entire lifetime of Conan the Barbarian, and it was published by Tor Books, to very limited success. And then in the 60s, Frank Frazetta, the gentleman that we were just talking about, was commissioned to do the covers to these pieces, and it was re-released in the early 70s to rave reviews. I mean, it had a huge audience, and so that's when I think I was probably 6th grade when I got introduced to Conan the Barbarian, and that entire Hyborian age world that was illustrated by him was just fascinating to me. It was just so savage and just full of adventure, and that's what I call fantasy. I think Tolkien's work is excellent fantasy as well, but it's a kind of a different vein than the Hyborian world that Robert E. Howard had wrote about.
Oh, Ginger's like, well, he's not a space geek then. Thank God. Wait, what do you mean he's not a space geek? Thank God. What kind of comment is that? Put my damn glass on, make sure I read that right. Oh man, come on, that was just cruel. He's not a space geek, thank God. Yes, we do have space geeks come on a network all the time. It's two networks in one. It's United Public Radio and UFO Paranormal. So we talk about all kind of in things in between. No, somebody already asked what his favorite color was. Why are y'all on this favorite color thing tonight? Look, I see a bunch of y'all stacking up. So why don't y'all pop over to, let me see which one's open. Why don't you pop over to the UFO Paranormal YouTube and hit me up through there? Yeah, well, that way it pops up on the screen. It makes it easier to see. Because when you text me in my messenger, I got to do this. I got to go over here, move it around, and scroll it down to see who's where and where's who and all that wonderful stuff. Actually, this piece, we're going to put it up in just a couple of minutes. When we get to the top of the hour, we're going to go through some of Tom's work. Awesome. He's got a lot of great work, so we're going to go through a couple pieces at a time. And yeah, y'all can ask questions about his work. You can ask. Oh, okay. Well, no, I didn't see that till just now. I'm glad you rewrote it. So Michael wants to know, for creative process. So we got an author friend of ours who's a 9 to 5 kind of guy. He gets up at 9, he gets off at 5. He writes 9 to 5, 5 days a week. Now, most creative people I meet, whether they're artists or illustrators, have a hard time with a 9 to 5 kind of thing.
Yeah.
So she's wanting to know, which obviously you're freelance now, but are you still working like regular day hours? Or are you just working whatever you're working or whenever something hits you? Or in your case, I know you're busy as hell, so you're probably working all the time.
I work,
but still
7 days a week, and usually till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And then I'll just sleep. I'll sleep to when I wake up. If I'm super tired, if I wake up at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, so be it, because I've stayed up till 3 or 4 in the morning working on a project. Just because I'm the kind of guy that when I'm working on it, I got to finish. I got to get to a certain point to be satisfied with it, or I'm not going to sleep.
That gets me in trouble all the time with my wife, by the way. I get into something and I can't stop until I get to the stopping point.
Right.
And I will stay at, and I'm same way with construction work. I got it. We'll be in something during a day, and I'll have a goal for that day, and I'm not letting it go until I get there. And it's going to be just irritate everybody, crews, family, but it's a compulsive thing, I guess. But it's the way things work, and I do that. Like on the weekends, I'll catch up a lot of my paperwork, especially for the station, on the weekend. So the station stops broadcasting about 2 a.m. So in between midnight and about 5 a.m., I'll be catching up all banner work and just knick-knack stuff, posting archives and things like that. And then, I'll usually go to bed about 6. But unfortunately, I'm not going to sleep past noon. I'm going to be up at noon doing whatever. But during the week, I'll stay up 2, 3, 4, depending on what's going on, and get up somewhere between 7 and 8:30, like clockwork.
Right. And
it's enough to drive a person insane. I'm just telling y'all, man. But creative people and just compulsive people are like that. It's just, you've got to get to your cutoff point, to your finishing point, because I won't sleep. If I don't, and I force myself to go to bed, I'm going to toss and turn all night. That's what I'm going to do.
No, exactly.
And then
as far as when creativity strikes, that can happen anytime. I'll be working on a project for a client. Let's say if it's NFL or something like that, and I'm painting football players, but I have an idea for it'll just be a flash of, inspiration. And I'll grab a sketch pad and I'll sketch out a little thumbnail of my dragon, then I'll just push it back over here, and then I'll continue working on the project that I've got in front of me. But I'll always have that to go back to and say, what was that? It's kind of like waking up from a dream and writing down, the notes of it, and then going back to sleep.
Which when we're doing research, we tell people to do all the time. Get up when you wake up in the morning. Don't worry if it makes sense or not. Just write it down.
Right.
After a while, you'll be surprised how many of them actually start to make sense. Your brain's not quite as dumb as you think it is when it's sleeping. But what I can tell you, but I am like that. If I don't get to a certain point, I won't sleep. I'll just be like, and in the end, I'll just get up earlier and just go do it, because until it's done, it's going to aggravate me.
That's right.
It's one of that. Wait, hold on. I didn't see that. What was that? Peter Piper Eater. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Hey, it's not politically correct these days. What can I say? It's going to get me in trouble. Anyway, Peter, roll. Oh, hold on, let me roll it back up so I can see it. Okay. Oh, he said he heard you mention the NFL. He said, "Do you have any favorite customers?" See, he can't answer that question because that'll get him in trouble with his customers, man. That's just not a fair question to ask somebody. That would be like asking me who my favorite guest is. Really, I can't.
I wouldn't mind answering that question.
Oh, go ahead,
if we go through my artwork later, you'll probably see some of that artwork. But I've done a lot of artwork for the entertainment industry as well, and not just sports, NFL, NBA, NCAA, but I've done work for like Kiss. I've done work for Aerosmith.
That's fun.
Lots of bands that I could go through. But when I started doing work for Insane Clown Posse and the Juggalo and their Juggalo, fans, was probably some of the funnest work that I've done, and probably some of the most rewarding, just because the fans are so rabid when it comes to, imagery of the Jokers that Insane Clown Posse created. And, they've been a huge supporter of mine over the years. So
Denise is like, he's speaking Greek. Okay. You caught me off guard when he's speaking Greek shit. I'm sorry. Okay, first off, Denise, do you mind me asking how old you're? No, I don't even want to ask. Never mind. We're just not going to go there. Um, well, it depends where you are. Well, you might not be into fantasy, or you might not be into some of the stuff he's at times into. So
No,
there's a lot of stuff out there when we're talking. I mean, there's a lot, guys. A lot of different things in art that you can get into, and things that are connected to art and illustrating. Well,
everything's connected to art. And
it
there's
is. Well, that's
every
true.
facet of your life that from the time you wake up in the morning, the time you pass out at night, you're looking at art. Whether it's the design of your toothbrush, whether it's the color of your carpet,
Somebody had to
it's
design this
all
ugly tie,
art.
man. So
That's right.
somebody said, "Oh, that's going to look pretty." I think they weren't correct, but we'll leave that alone too. Well, we're getting ready to start looking at some art. So one more question. Well, yeah, I guess we can ask that. So she said she heard you grew up in a rural area. Do you still live in a rural area? And do you prefer being in a rural area to do art? To I guess for doing your design work.
No, after living in my job took me up to New England for 10 years. From
Ooh,
my little
Lord.
town of Mammoth Spring, Arkansas, is home, and that's where I grew up. I was a farm kid. I was raised on a cattle farm, and so when I started doing my freelance, I moved back to Arkansas. I bought a ranch of my own. I have cattle. I have
He does have
200
cattle.
and what's that? I have 310 acres that I get to roam around on, and
So I can't remember who it was. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but somebody at the thing this year kept going, Tom's got cows. Tom's got cows. Like, yeah, he lives in Arkansas. It's not that big of a deal, people. He got cows. I said, cows are good investments. And look at that. People, whoever it was, I guess they must have had this fantasy. I'm not going to say it was a female, but I'm not going to say who it was. But still, it bothered them a lot. They couldn't get past the cow thing. I was like, oh my God. I'm sorry, I should have brought that up. But it was just too damn funny. It's I said, well, I live in the swamp. I don't have pet alligators. I mean, I could, but I don't. Just Jesus.
But I think my town has got my population is like 830 people in my town, so it is about as small as you can imagine. We don't even have we have one stoplight now, which was added about 2 years ago. So
that's because somebody likes to speed. We're not gonna mention their names. Somebody likes to speed through there. But there's nothing wrong. I've lived in big cities. I've lived in the swamp. I've lived in the country. Right now, I live in. It's hard to explain. They say it's rural. I live in between two towns, Bay St. Louis and Pass Christian, Mississippi, which is 60 miles out of New Orleans, 55 miles out of New Orleans, about 15 miles from Biloxi. So it's weird because I am technically rural. I got just a little measly 2-3 acres out here. My partner got a bunch of land up in further up in Mississippi, but it's a strange place to live because there's a big road that goes by not too far from my house. You see people zipping by all day. But then it's also very peaceful and quiet here. I have a beautiful bayou in my backyard. And literally, people, when I say it's in my backyard, I'm talking 20 feet from my back door. Is the damn bayou. I prefer it over the city life. And I was raised, I started out in the city and I lived in the city for probably about 15 years. I made a lot of money in the city and I still work in the city. I drive to New Orleans every day like a crazy person, but I prefer it here. My dogs prefer it here too, by the way. They're like, oh, Daddy, we don't have to be on the leash here. And they just love it. So for me, it's a better life. And when I do get some time to stop, and just sit, it's just a nice place to be. I can relax. I can watch the water go wiggling by, watch the gator come by and eat a fish or something. No, I'm just teasing people. More like a barracuda eating a fish, but still, I'm only like 75 yards from the Gulf, so they got some big stuff coming. We had a dolphin come hang out with us like New Year's before last.
Wow.
He just parked himself in the bayou and hung out. Yeah, I'm going to live with y'all. I'm like, okay. If you want to be here, it was weird, kind of weird, because I actually seen the damn thing in the middle of a fog, because we get a lot of fog here. And it was kind of strange, but it was nice. I mean, it's a nice place to be. What's that, Ricky? Ricky, because you live in you make where Tom live look like a city. You were so far in between. I don't even know how you got an internet connection. Oh, that's right. You got, what's his name now? Elon. I forgot about that. Yeah, before that you had some dish thing that didn't work. I remember that. Yeah. Yeah. Where is it again? You someplace the nearest gas station at like 135 miles.
God dang.
Yeah, and the nearest town is another 135 miles after that. I know where you live. Yeah, I've been through there.
Wow.
Yeah, in the middle of nowhere in Texas. That's where he lives.
That sounds
Jesus.
pretty remote.
It is, man. It's matter of fact, my wife and I stopped. We were coming back from Roswell from speaking at a conference, and we stopped at some place. I think it was a Sonic actually to get a drink and a hot dog. I still remember that. I pull in. It's in the afternoon. I hear this weird noise. I look up there. It's literally a herd of deer, at least 50, 60 of them walking through the Sonic. Didn't even give a. We could get out the car. They didn't even care.
Right.
You could tell they'd been through here 100 times. I'm like, and there were more coming. I was like, and where are we again? And the lady just started laughing. She said, yeah, there ain't nothing around here. She said, yeah, there's us and the gas station up the street. She said, and then the next nearest thing is like, I don't know, 150, 160 miles. And then after that's Austin, which is like another 100 something miles. I'm like, wow. Okay, yeah, I don't want to live here. But you know what? There is a lot out there is windmills. Ooh, man, there are a lot of wind and a lot of goats. I don't know what the goats are about, but there's a lot of goats and a lot of windmills. Anyway, people, I just thought y'all want to know that stupid stuff. Yes, actually, Jimmy, we're going to start showing some right now. So I'm going to bring this up. So you're going to lose. You're not going to see our gorgeous faces hardly anymore because we're going to bring this up. I still don't like the way this is sitting. Yeah. Why won't it let me? Okay.
Yeah, that's a little better resolution. That's some of my earlier dragon pieces that when I first launched Tom with Fantasy Art.
Okay, so let's pop over here. So, guys, you're gonna see me popping back. Oh, hey, mama, ooh, shaggy baby, where'd you come from? You see, I don't never know what's going on around here, man. Things and stuff popping up on my screen. What is that? Wait, what? I can't even hardly. Oh, you'd have to ask Tom. I don't know who this is. It just says Tom Wood Bloodlust. I'm like,
yeah, Bloodlust is
lusting around here. That's a great piece, actually.
Actually, yeah, there's a sculpture that's I've licensed my artwork with a company out of Spain that's doing sculptures of several of my pieces, and she's one of them. And it's looking. I wish I had some JPEGs I could show you guys right now.
Oh yes, well when you get it, let me know because the sculpture's going to be great. Sorry, I was getting a weird feedback there for a second. Actually, Jimmy, let's see if we can do it this way, and see we can click on like this. Whoa, there we go, baby! Look at that.
Nice. Yep. Now, these pieces, when I first started Tom with Fantasy Art, Trends International contracted me and or licensed me to go into Walmart. So some of these pieces, the earlier Fantasy Art pieces, my start was in the poster bin at Walmart, you know, with the little end of the aisle that you'd flip through the different posters and stuff. So, yeah, these lived there for several years.
Oh, I know, Stephanie. Stephanie said, well, you need to wait. Oh, she said you need to make one of those pieces that sits on top of a crystal ball out of it.
Yeah.
So you mean like the dragon holding a? Yeah, it would be badass. I ain't lying. That's a cool ass piece of art. No, we got lots. We just getting started. See, because my wife's a big dragon fan too. She loves dragons.
Oh yeah, hold on to the piece right there for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, this is.
You find Tom.
This is one of the sculptures that was made of this piece. You can see, you know,
put us big again.
The similarities of that piece.
There you go.
Yeah,
this is nice and big. So that's cool. So y'all see where it's coming from there. Well, that looks exactly the same.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the artwork was done first, and then I had to send the artwork and then redraw it from a couple different angles so their sculptors could, you know, produce it. But yeah, they did a great job.
Let me get us back under control here. Yeah. There we go. And so let's see. Go back over here. No, Stephanie, no, we're just going through. Well, there you go. Okay, this guy just looks pissed.
Yeah, this piece is called Dragon Ray. This was the cover to my book, Hellfire, Plague of Dragons, which came out in 2010, and it was.
Wait, you got a book?
Yeah, I got a book.
You had a book. You got to send me the damn book. I didn't know you had a book.
Yeah.
Oh my God! See, I don't know anything, people. What can I tell y'all? It's I know that's a great piece. Yeah, I see those comments. Well, y'all should come in the other room. No, Michelle always tells me not to talk to y'all. Yes, she's mean like that. What can I say? If y'all know who I'm talking to, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Michelle DeRoche, who will be coming on next on the Outer Realm. She is the manager of the station. I think she likes to give me hell just because she can. Nobody else can. So she figures she can do it, get away with it. Ooh, here we go.
Yeah,
now, see, this reminds me of somebody. Well, tell me about it, but it reminds me of something for some reason.
Well, after my initial success with Trent, I was getting, some pretty decent sized royalty checks from those guys, and then they started suggesting things that they would say this is what would do good, and this was probably 2008. Anyway, it was right in the middle of the whole Twilight thing, and they said, "Hey, do us a vampire," and I'm like, okay, and I was not going to do them some handsome Edward bullshit kind of.
Yeah, I don't blame you, because that ain't what a damn vampire looks like anyway.
Exactly, it doesn't look like a vampire anyway. This is the stuff that would scare me if I wanted vampires, and also I did a lot of research on ancient Sumerian vampire lore. And some of their, some of the descriptions of what they give of what these vampires that stole children out of their, out of their cribs at night. And so this is what I came up with. And I thought this was a better representation of vampires than.
Well, yeah, then you mean Tom Cruise? I'm sorry, that was me. Tom Cruise was not a good vampire. I don't care if y'all like the movie or not. Hey, look, everybody's got their choices. He's like 5 foot tall. He wouldn't even be a scary vampire. I'm just saying. I'm gonna get all kind of emails. I can see it coming. Oh, here we go.
Right.
Oh, look, he got pearly whites. Does this guy have a toothbrush or something?
Well, and this was the partner to that one, because they wanted a werewolf too, and of course they wanted a giant dog, like whatever the other kid's name was.
I love the detail on the hair, man. The fur is just fabulous. You can even see the way it flows. It comes through the mane. It flows. It circles the nipple. I mean,
yeah, you follows
the muscle. I mean, it's just fabulous.
Through there with that swat. And so, yeah, I disappointed them again by giving it this. But this is my idea of a werewolf. It was not a big wolf. It's not a werewolf to me. I grew up with,
this looks like a werewolf.
Howling and Lon Chaney Jr. And those characters. That was a werewolf to me. So.
Yeah, this looks like a werewolf to me. That other crap they do today is not a werewolf. I don't know what that is. It's I know Ginger. Ginger says scared the crap out of her. She said, "Let's go to the next picture." I was like, all I seen at first was like, "Ooh, look, here we go, a phoenix. Look at this."
This is my most successful piece I ever did. I put this in Walmart, and it stayed in the poster bin for probably 2 years and 2.5 years. I think it sold like 2 million units.
Damn.
And literally, probably one of the quickest pieces I did. I did this Phoenix. It's called Phoenix Rising, and everybody seems to have had this poster on their wall at some point. I'm sure several of your listeners or watchers may have owned this at some point. But anyway, yeah.
I know it's badass looking. I see why it stayed as long as it did. I mean, that's a badass picture.
Thanks. It took about 8 hours to paint this. Probably one of the quickest pieces I've ever done, and strangely, the most lucrative piece I ever did.
What do you mean send it to J.K. Rowling? Oh, I know what you're talking about. Never mind. Yeah. What's his name? Dumbledore has a phoenix. All right.
Oh, yeah. This was done way before.
Yeah, she should have used it. Oh, now see, we just seen her a minute ago. We were looking at her.
J.K. got her stuff.
Weird noise out there. It's What do you mean that looks like J.K. Rowling? Yeah, J.K. Rowling's wishes. Whatever kind of drugs you're on, you need to share with the rest of the crowd tonight, man. Blow some of that in the chat room or something. Oh, here we go, man.
Yeah, this is a little more of the mystical thing that I was trying to get into. A lot of the spell casting and dragon lore, and I thought that was just a really cool piece for a lot of the spiritual and necromancy and that kind of stuff that was popular at the time. And that piece did real well as well.
It's it's a badass piece. I mean, and I don't know. You got so much paying attention to detail. I noticed, and it's probably a mean thing to say, but I noticed with a lot of art these days, there's a lot of filler and not all that is much substance. In other words, they'll shadow it back or deeper, so you don't get to see like details like this all the way through. You'll kind of see someone part of it, but the rest of it would be like all of this would be dark, most all of this would be dark, and then it'd be like a piece here and a piece here. Yeah. And that's all you'd really see. And then a lot of this, see like the detail of this inside of here, you really wouldn't get to see that, or the detail on the skull. Actually, I do pay a lot of attention to art. I can't help it. I'm a freak about paying attention to detail, guys. I mean, have you seen the eagle I posted the other day? I seen this dude from like 1.5 miles down the road. Yeah, my wife freaks out when I see stuff. She's like, how the hell do you see that? I'm a contractor by trade. I notice that it makes her crazy when we walk into a restaurant, because the first thing I do is look around and see everything that's wrong. It's just a thing, people. But I'm very detail orientated. I mean, look at it. I mean, you took the time to go through all this. I mean, you can see the rings. You can not only do you see the rings, but you see how it overlaps. I mean, yeah. Let me see some of y'all draw this. Let me see. So I'll tell you what. I'll give anybody in the audience right now who draws that well $100. Now, see, she's just hot. So what is she like? Thor, the female Thor, man?
Well,
like,
I mean, I was doing a lot of research in mythology. I was doing a lot of like stuff like the Medusa, and Norse mythology was always really interesting to me. But the Valkyries I thought were awesome just because they would come down to the battlefields. That's their main purpose was to come down and pick up the heroes of the battle and that were slain, that had fallen, and escort them personally back to Valhalla. And so they were supposed to be super badasses, and so I wanted to portray her as like an incredible warrior, but also something that a dead guy would like waking up to, after he got through giving everything for his tribe or his clan.
If you don't know what a Valkyrie is, shame on you. Really, just shame on you. Not even from not watching the MC universe. You should know from the stories from when you were a child. And I know where you come from, so you even come from that part of the world. Shame on you. Sorry about that. This guy's irritating me over here with this. I don't know what Valkyrie is. I'm like, I don't know. No, it's excellent. I think, look, but let me ask this. I asked this to Echo, and I've asked this to several artists because I noticed for a lot of artists, it seems easier for them to draw women than men. Is that true for you?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, it is. The mapping out a man's anatomy is a lot faster. I don't have to make sure that it could be rugged or rough or whatever, but there's always this femininity that you want to keep, even on the warriors or whatever female that you're, painting, because you want to keep that fragile beauty, even on somebody that's as badass as a Valkyrie. And even like the succubus or the vampire from Bloodlust earlier, she is just a brutal beast, and she's got blood. She's wiping blood from her mouth, but she's still, voluptuous and beautiful, and the perfect crap for a man.
I mean, no, yeah, you're right about that. What do you mean? Did he have a model? Oh, you mean did he have a model? Oh, did you have a model?
Yeah, I did have a model actually.
Okay. Why? Well, no, they do use models.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Models, you need reference, especially when you're doing human form. If you want to get your shading right and your light direction, right, having a model is essential.
Actually, Marco, to answer that question, because I asked Echo this and I asked Santa this, and no, they like having a model there. All three of them did, because it just, well, because it's a live structure. They move, you can see the way they move, what the subtle differences are. Yeah, well, anybody can draw for 2D, but 3D is just different. It's more real. It's just I don't know. I talked to a lot of the illustrators and artists, and they tend to like having a live audience. I mean, a live artist. A live model. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't spit that out.
And you can find, there's no doubt that you can go online and you can find somebody in a similar pose, but the lighting may not be what you want. And when you've got a model and she strikes the pose that you like, then you can rotate your lighting and get some kind of dramatic lighting that really, strikes a chord with you. And that's what you want to paint. You don't want to just take whatever Google Images offers up and make the most of it, if you can help it or if you can afford it.
Yeah, well, that's true too. If you can afford it, that makes a big difference. Oh wait, you want to know how long the girl had to stand like that? That's a great question. Well, you should ask Tom how long it took him to draw the piece. There you go.
How long it took to draw the piece? That took about, I'd say, maybe 18 to 20 hours to finish.
No, she didn't stand there for 18 to 20 hours. Whoever wrote that, you moron. Come on.
There was a lot of sketching, a lot of photography that's done.
Yes, plus it'd be kind of expensive. Well, if you have to pay for models. You don't always have to pay for models, but it's oh no, they had live models at both of the last year and this year. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they did.
As a matter of fact, Echo the year before last was showing the model how to pose. I got this picture. I told her one day I would use these as blackmail. Oh, y'all gotta go check out that. We did it last week. She's got great artwork too. She does. We did her more risque stuff last week. Yeah, so go check it out.
If you guys missed that show, go back and
go
check it out if you get a chance.
Yes. Well, no one under the age of 21. How's that? every kid listening is going to be over there. Oh, let's go look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I don't even like clowns. This already freaks me out.
Yeah, Mischief the Clown. This was when I started doing work for Insane Clown Posse. Of course, that's a licensed property that I don't own the license for, but just because of a lot of the popularity of those clowns and starting to build a fan base of Juggalos, I started doing my own evil clowns. And this was one of them. I call Mischief the Clown, and it's
he looks spooky, don't he? Yeah, I agree with you.
It's pretty creepy.
He looks like yeah. Bring him to your kid's party. There you go.
Nice.
Let's see what happens after that. Don't even start with you people.
Yeah, and this came off the success of the Phoenix, and it's kind of the whole sequel process. Even when it comes to artwork, if you've got one piece that does really well, and then the buyer like Trends International say, "Hey, do this in fire," and do a dragon in fire, do a wolf in fire. And,
well, because people are into that kind of stuff.
And there's the buyers just line up for that, and it's a guaranteed successful piece, financially successful.
Yeah, and well, no, there's a lot of detail in there, not just the fire. I mean, there's other detail in there besides fire, like the teeth, the eyes, the nose crinkling, the little flames going into his nostrils. What do you mean you don't want me criticizing any of your artwork, Chris? I don't criticize. I'm just saying what the detail is. Don't hate me, man. It's one of the things I can't help myself. I don't know why y'all gonna make me say that over and over. Oh, Jimmy want to know if this is still for sale.
Yeah, you can. Anybody that's interested in the art and looking at my entire library of work, you could go to tomwoodfantasyart.com and you could look at all the fantasy art pieces. You could look at all the entertainment pieces like Insane Clown Posse artwork that we'll get to here in a little bit, or a lot of the artwork that I did for Reebok and Adidas and even Nike for sports caricatures over the years. So they may not be with the same teams that they were when I painted them, but a lot of those players still play or stars now. And, I even got a few of the older ones, like there's a Larry Bird, Magic Johnson piece that I'm really proud of that's in that collection as well. But yeah, tomwoodfantasyart.com. You can
y'all should check it out. If for some reason you forget, it'll be in the description in the all the video feeds. So it'll be you'll see his bio, and then it'll be at the bottom of his bio down in the description part of the show titles. So just check it out. Yeah, I always include the websites. It's just easier for people to find them.
Right.
Well, because if not, people send me email, Joe, and I'm like, I don't know. Now I'm gonna go look it up. And then I said, do you know the guest name? Look it up. That's this one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this piece was called Mermaid Hunt, and I was commissioned to do this from Heavy Metal magazine. This was the cover of the December cover a few years ago for Heavy Metal.
That's cool looking. I know.
This is a lot. This is my wife's favorite piece. Actually, the composition at the time when I was talking about it with my family when I first heard about it. My daughter had done a quick sketch. Of course, she was 6 years old at the time, but she was so excited about it, and she did a quick pencil sketch. And I used that pencil sketch to do kind of to lay my artwork out, as a homage to her, budding
you creativity. You royalties now, man. Better watch out.
I do. Yeah, she's in college now, so yeah, I pay.
You're already paying royalties. Never mind. Yes, we all know when you have a child in college, you're paying royalties and lots of them. I think it's cool. There's a lot of detail in there. There's a lot of stuff going on in there too.
Right. Yeah. A lot of the mermaids at the time was very, beautiful and, very human-like. And I wanted this one to be more of an undersea creature that does not get a lot of light. They're more bluish pale. They're very ghostly. They're more fish, and there's no a lot of wardrobe on there because they would just fall apart in the salt water after a while. So I had to come up with aspects of her anatomy that could possibly be confused by a drunk sailor or a horny sailor that, this was what they were seeing. But I wanted them to be man hunters. Their job, like the sirens, their job was to get that guy to lean over that ship just a little too much and then get him to come in the water. And if it was, it was game over.
Right. It was snack time, people.
That's right. So and here is at their, whatever ruins of their ancient civilizations that's left, they're just piling skulls.
Yes, because they might need him to build something else. It's
Yeah, Slash and Burn. This was one of my later dragon pieces. This is one of the ones that I was really proud of just because of the amount of detail that it's hard to even see at this scale. But every scale was drawn and shaded and highlighted. Every fiber of wing material was.
It's hard for you to see, but it's easier for us because I can see the patchwork done in the wings and the different directions everything moves. I can see all the scales all the way through, all the way down to these small ones right here. It's whoa! I got a little crazy.
There you go. And if you scroll, just check out like this one has already ripped apart, part of the wing from the blue dragon.
Yes, you can see.
And you can, if you scroll up, you can see, a lot of the, the other dragon. It's really, he's taking aim on him. The smoke's coming out. You can see the flame starting to come up his gullet. He's fixing to just, blast this guy. So it was kind of a lot of potential energy, designed into this piece. So.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, you see the tears, the bites, the marks, and then all the scales from the round ones to small ones to what looks to be, I don't know, almost like a gill almost. It's just a pattern of the right. Scales, the way they change. But even back through here, you see all of it. I mean, there's just so much going on here. You even see these little, I didn't even notice these until we blew them up, these little spikes along the edge right here. It's,
yeah.
Well, I forgot
remember doing that.
Yeah, you must. It looks like this was a fun piece to do.
Yeah,
it was. What people? Here we go. Oh, look at this guy's.
Yeah, zoom in on this guy if you get a chance.
Okay,
this guy had scoop of detail. You can see he's all, he's rotting from the outside in, or from the inside out, and then the skin's just barely hanging on to his bones. You can see on this piece right here, it was kind of a Hamlet homage to this guy because he's found this, corpse that still had this brain intact, and he's so happy. This is called Zombie Scraps was the name of this because of all the hordes of zombies in the background, and he's got, you could feel the heat of the summer. You could see the flies landing on the black flies around the corpses. You can almost smell it, and it was just a lot of fun to do. And having him, be the first to find this intact brain that he could eat was, I thought it was like the best day that a zombie could possibly have. And they're, terrible.
It probably is. I mean, there's just so much detail in this, so much going on in here. I mean, people, when you look, you can just look at the skin all the way through. I mean, this is all stuff in here. He added all through here. Here, he didn't even have to add. Most people wouldn't even noticed it.
Right. But, like the chunk out of his, out of his calf.
Yeah, I mean,
all the way to the bone. So
and then over here, and then you look at the little pieces of his, whatever this happens to be right here. It's hard to tell.
Which part? Like this? Oh yeah, that's his pelvic bones. On that side of him. Ripped out of the gene.
I know, huh? It is popping out of there. That's what I'm saying, guys. There's a lot going on. The flies are a great addition to this, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, that just kind of sells the whole piece. Because there would be a ton of flies around them. They'd be having a field day. I love the skull and the brain. It's just a great piece. It's I know. Mike was like, "Yeah, okay, this is cool looking." Because you're a zombie freak, Michael. That's why. That's a good friend of mine from way back in the day. He is a zombie freak. This is a bear, huh?
No, this is a wolf.
The wolf. Yeah. Okay, I realized it after I said it.
This is a Firestarter. This was commissioned by Sony, and when they were coming out with the Xbox One, they had all these custom backgrounds that they wanted to be able to offer the different gold membership people. And
I've seen this before. Then we had Sony. My son drove me crazy about freaking Sony. Actually, Xbox. Well, he has everything, I think, actually. He just liked to drive me nuts. Yeah, people, we were gamers all the time. I don't get to game anymore, but I used to like to game.
Nice. As you get an understanding of how fire works, it's very similar to smoke. It's just a different color. So if you can get in on his teeth and learn how to make the flames lick in the same direction of the fur, you can move through a piece pretty quickly. And it's a lot faster than drawing each individual hair like I did on the werewolf. That took ungodly amount of hours to do the fur properly.
I can imagine when the werewolf had to. This just looks great though.
Thank you.
Yeah, when I first seen him, I only saw this part, so I thought it was a bear, the arch. But then when I got where I could see his face, I realized what he was. It's I like all of this, man. There's a lot of detail in this too going on, even down his little claws down here, even the lines in his claws.
Right.
The little flames coming out from underneath his paw.
I mean, I wanted him to look like he was, walking on, recently cooled magma. You
That's
could
what it
see
looks
the
like
little
too.
the specks and the cracks in the earth of the heat coming through it.
That's what he looks like. That's what you see where he's stepping on it. It's heating up or flaming up from where he's stepping on it.
Right.
Eyes look great. Eyes look like jewels. Actually, let me get that out the way. It's you mean Christopher? Yeah, it's probably. Is this one for sale too? Still?
Absolutely. Yeah. All those prints are for sale on
Don't
canvas, G-clay prints, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, don't be scared to ask. I mean, I don't mind asking Tom. And like I said, his website's up, so you'll be able to go to his website and check it out and see what you got. Oh no, we still got time. We still got a half hour. What? Wait a minute, it's Zombie Slayer, chick. Where were you for the other picture, chick? The guys getting ready to eat the brain. You over here playing around with these guys, hanging out.
This was a book cover that was commissioned by I can't. Chicks in Chainmail was the name of the anthology that was this piece was done for, and they had done it for 10 years. This was the 10th version of it, and they commissioned me to do this from one of the stories. Have her, dropping into this river of zombies and trying to, fight her way through and save some of her friends. But I had a model for this one too, and yeah, she did a great job, and I wanted her, buff and badass and.
Yeah, she looks good.
Yeah,
she did a great job on the eyes too. By the way, I just noticed them when I was going by. They caught my attention. Tattoo looks great going all the way through. It rolls down pretty good, even to the piece of jewelry and the belly button. And then you got the zombies down here looking. All right, hey chick, you look like lunch to us. You look like lunch. Come on, let's calm down. Don't cut our heads off. We just want to have a little bite here and there. It's Oh, I know. Ginger said she's in love with your artwork. It's he's got great stuff. That's what I was telling you earlier before we got started. See, I didn't even notice this till just now. I came back and caught this. And see, I noticed with your artwork, the more I look, the more I find.
Right.
Well, that, by the way,
it's kind of like most of the books. Like when I did this story, of course, when they told me this is the story, the premier story in this series of collection of Chicks in Chainmail, I read through this story. So any details that the author had put in there, like this was inscripted on the walls or that kind of stuff, I would, try to put as much of that into my cover as possible, just because I know how much that means to the writer, to see that stuff and
I know
with his own eyes,
Melinda says, you must have an understanding wife. He got a hot wife. She ain't got nothing to worry about. It's I met her. No, trust me. She's really a very nice lady. She really is.
No, she's great.
She puts up with his butt, so that's a good sign right off the bat. And no, she's just I talk to her. I don't get to talk to her a lot, but she's very nice, very sweet, and very attractive woman. So I don't think she got anything to worry about. And no, whatever, people, y'all weirdos. Sorry, just weirdos in the chat group tonight. That's all I'm saying. Here we go. Now this looks like something out of Conan, man.
Yeah. This was a great piece. I had started working on this cover piece for a rock band. I won't tell you their name, but it's a very popular rock band, and they decided to go in a different direction with this piece. But I'd already had most of the artwork done, so I was like, "Hell with this! I'm just going to make a really cool poster out of this character." And I'm sure some of your people could probably guess who this was done for. But anyway, I renamed this Apocalypse Reaper and licensed it myself, and it's done extremely well. But yeah, it was a great chance to go and study armor, reflections, have this world in the background just falling apart, being sucked up into some black hole or something. You could see the mountains in the background just sort of disintegrating and being lifted up into the, lack of gravity as the sun just, that red giant sun just starts to swell and, eviscerate everything.
They this yeah, I know this is a lot just going on in here too. Well, guys, that's what you want in the artwork. You want to, every time you look at the piece, you want to see something different.
Right. I don't want you to be able to glimpse this in 3 seconds and move on. I want you to be able to, go in
You'll be staring
stare
at it for
at
a
it
while.
for days if possible. And if you want to zoom in, you can just like look at some of the detail on the skull, the chainmail, that kind
See
of
this
stuff.
on a poster or something. You'd walk by every time you walk by, you see something different. It's it's so much. I mean, look at the helmet, the detail, the teeth. Even took the time to put the marks inside the teeth. Of course, there's the chainmail. Of course, there's the blood. Yeah, bloody people. That's got to be skin and scales, I would think. There.
No, that's a armor. That was like an Under Armour padding that'll.
Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? I think I've actually seen that before. That white padding.
Yeah.
I think I have actually. And a good grasp on the sword down here. And then you got all the detail on the ground, all the stuff behind them, the smoke coming through, the mountains, the sun. It looks like it's rising. It's hard to say it could be rising or setting.
Yeah.
It's well, I guess on y'all's part, guys, y'all could either way you want to make this sun, rising or setting. Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be up to the person here that stitches through here.
Right, it's all up to your own.
The loops on the belt,
preferences.
Well, yeah, there's just a lot going on here. Even the colors of the hair. I know there's just a lot going on. Well, I can show all y'all. Go buy the damn picture and look at it. Uh-oh, here's Medusa running loose.
Medusa. This is one of my Greek mythology creations. As you can see, she's, I love the scale pattern of rattlesnakes, so I kind of use that on her. But, having the snakes and having a chance to do, some really cool leather armor and work with a bow. And, I was influenced a lot when I think I was probably 10 years old or so, maybe even younger than that. It was when Clash of the Titans came out in the early 80s with Harry Hamlin in it. And, I love that Medusa. She was one of the scariest creatures in that movie.
She was good. Yeah, she was good. I love that you get the tattoos in here running all the way down.
Oh, thank you.
The scale detail on the snake. It's on the body of the snake. It's Medusa, guys. I'm going to close y'all's eyes. I got all you guys going to turn to stone. I'm impervious to the Medusa. I'm sorry, but the rest of you people might get in trouble. I even like the little pieces on the edges. The blades on the end and the little hook blades on the parts. So that's just details you catch as your eye goes by. The works on the columns, all of this through here. I mean, that's not even detail you had to put in there.
Right. But people, when they see it, just like you, they can appreciate it. It just makes it.
Yeah, it does. It makes it better.
More interesting.
It does make the piece all the way around. And there's more than that in there, guys. You got to look. Oh, wait, we're on a different page. Hold on. We got to go back to the page. Let's go down here.
Yeah, ICP. This is some of the stuff for instance.
Oh, look at this freak, man! I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, you're right. This is the Ringmaster. Of course, when I started doing work for Insane Clown Posse, and I started putting my artwork out there, I got a big following, a lot of love from the Juggalos, and it's just always a lot of fun taking characters that they've seen as two-dimensional cartoons for the last 25 years, and then making them three-dimensional, making them realistic. And the Ringmaster is one of my favorites. Usually,
it's a good one. Somebody should tell his fool he ain't got no umbrella up there, but still.
Oh yeah, well that's the cool thing about Insane Clown Posse and the Juggalos. Stuff that makes no sense makes perfect sense to these guys.
Oh yeah, I can
the umbrella he's in the rain and he's carrying an umbrella that doesn't work. They just eat it up. And
Dean says he's impressed that you put the splashes on.
Isn't that cool?
Edges. Yeah, he's all over here, but he this is the one he was talking about first because that's what he was pointing at. And I know it's just great work all the way around. Yeah, Martha says scares the crap out of her.
Well, she's gonna love this whole section then.
She said, here we go. This looks like a Mardi Gras guy here. I can deal with him. We bring him down.
See
we'll bring him down. Whoa, man, get your teeth out of my face now.
Nice. Wow, this is zoomed in there good.
I know.
Yeah, this is the Missing Link, which they had when they released this. It was 2 different albums. There was the Missing Link Lost, which is the one that has the iron mask, and then Missing Link Found, which is him outside of that. So this piece was called Missing Link Duality, and I just did the entire piece. Half of it was lost, half of it was found.
Well, hold on, Jack. I'm gonna minimize it in a second. I was just going through it. There you go. That's what it looks like, the whole piece. Well,
is there a midway? That's
No,
almost too
for
far
some
back.
reason it's not. Yeah, I was looking for it. Usually there's a bar or something I could slide, but for some reason it's not giving me any of that.
Right. But yeah, like the rivets in there, no one's ever going to see that kind of detail except for me. I'll know it. Or the
Yeah.
frayed mustache, you could see, where the little pieces of hair come off the side of the mustache, and like a real one would, even if it was twisted with the best waxing ever. You'd
There's
see
just a
these
lot. Yeah, I mean,
strands of it coming off there.
there's just so much going on here. Well, there's even the shadow, guys. You see it coming through. It's
Yeah.
What do you mean you want some chains? Whatever. I'm not even answering that. That's stupid. See the weld. I mean, there's just even the little specks in the armor itself. All of this through here, even these through here. I mean, there's just a lot in here. The little nicks. Yeah, there's just a lot going on, guys. Yeah, well, that's why you look at it and you see all of this. Look up in here. I mean, there's a lot going on in here. There's a lot going up in here too. It's all of this. I mean, there's just a lot going on through here. I know it's cool as hell if you ask me. But it does remind me of Mardi Gras for some reason. I guess because of the color choice.
Yeah, the colors are.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. This guy's stoned.
Riddle box. As you can see in the background of all these pieces, you can see their original character design, and the poster behind that riddle box. That was their original. If you zoom in, you can see.
Yeah, I see him back there.
Yeah, you can see that's the riddle box they had looked at for 20 years, and then when I came in and I did a realistic version of what this might look like in a 3D world, that's
Well, we're gonna go over the
what
minute,
I
guys.
came up with.
I'm just looking. There's all kind of stuff through here, and then of course you see this, and then we'll go up. There's more as you're going up. The handle looks great too, by the way. Just that you popped it in there, and that's scarred up a little bit, and the wood looks a little scarred up as well.
Right.
And you got these two in there really well. Oh no, the guy's a great talented artist, people. I wish I could draw this. If I try, you don't even know what this would look like if I tried to draw this. No, we're not even going to go there, people. It would be embarrassing. Oh, what was that? Sorry, my burglar alarm went off. Yeah, that was my burglar alarm, y'all. Sorry. It's 4.5 pounds, and it thinks I don't know what it thinks it is. It thinks it's used. The pupil looks great, by the way.
Thank you.
When I was looking at it, it came through the tongue. Everything in here is just. And I love the colors again. And these colors catch my eyes. There's a nice sheen running through here that just seems to kind of flow out through the whole piece. Nice highlights. Yeah, I know nothing about highlights. Thanks, Sans is actually about highlights now, people.
It's another version of the Ringmaster. Again, you can see the original one up there at the top. But
Jackie said it looks like Bela Lugosi.
Yeah, I can see that.
I can kind of see that a little bit now. It's not get carried away. Bela Lugosi. Oh no, I understand what you're saying. No, I don't actually agree with you, but I understand what you're saying. I'm sorry. It's so you got the pieces. See, I love how this is back here. And then you scroll and look at the detail in this guy's face, man. Yes, you might think you're a lunch. I love the fingernails, the chips, the nicks, the cracks.
Right.
The teeth are fabulous. I mean,
and that's really, when it comes to the Juggalos, those pieces are almost sacred to them. So it was kind of a risk taking pieces that they were very protective of, and then doing my version of it. And there was always a chance that there could be a lot of
upset
fans. And so I tried to, whether it was the hands and the position that he's got them, forks up and forks down, or the smile, everything needed to be complementary to the original piece to make sure that some of the new fans were happy, and then the old school Juggalos were also, with the piece.
Well, yeah, that's right, Gene. You can see the lines in his hands, the lines on his knuckles. You can see where the threads are coming out on the jacket. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on here. If you take your time and look, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, wait till you get to the cuff. Wait till you get to Mr. Rotten Treats. That I kind of went overboard on the detail on that one. I don't know if you can find Mr. Rotten Treats, but
we will find it. We got a little time. We still got 20 minutes, so we'll just speed up how fast we're going through.
Okay, yeah.
It's I like the raven. I like the eye and the raven. There's just a lot going on in here too. So who is this guy? Is this like somebody just whooping some shit into shape, or
no? When it comes to ICP, their first 6 Jokers was this was the last Joker. This was the number 6 to their first 6. Now they're on number 11 now, but this was the Wraith. And so he was, you can see the picture of him in the background. He's got the outstretched hand with the raven on his shoulder. So, it was just a interpretation of that piece.
Yeah, and I like how you got the originals back there. It's just cool as hell. Let's see what we got here. Oh, this guy.
This is Bang Pow Boom, which was one of their first albums of the second day. And this was an explosion. This was a character that I had to sort of try to figure out how I was going to even approach, because it was an explosion in the shape of a skull. So I just created this, this creature that had kind of a star shape with the lightning bolts and the fire. It's very freaky. And the Juggalos get it. Most people may not, but it's just interesting to do something that's so.
No, it's nice. I mean, you can see the exploding star, and then you can see the face in it.
Right.
What's that, Jimmy? Yeah, that's a great piece. Yeah.
Yeah. You can zoom in. Like the eyes was the funnest part for me. Just doing the texture on the skull.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Well, yeah, when we zoom in, of course, you're going to get more detail, people, because it's a bigger picture.
Right.
It's,
just something that reference doesn't even exist. And those are the funnest pieces, just because, when you're doing a human form, you almost need a human, because people will notice those details. But when you're doing a creature that doesn't even exist anywhere in reality, you can get away with not having reference. You can just it's all pure imagination, and those are a lot of fun to do.
The eyes are great. The creases in between his eyebrows are great. The nose great. Teeth, he just got a lot of this stuff you just have an excellent command of. You just must be second nature to you for a lot of it. It's it doesn't, well, you can't really tell in a picture, but it doesn't seem like it's all that hard for you to do.
No.
Maybe that's not a correct statement, but well, he just does it well. So, when people do things well, you just assume it's easy for them. It doesn't always mean that it is. You just assume it is. So I like all this detail in the back with these guys, and then the ones up front. Yes, this is for naughty children. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the detail in the hand. What do you mean he uses the Shakespeare neck piece? You're talking about this? Yeah,
well, he does on this iteration. He just needed to be more clowny, and or clownish. And
yeah, it is. That's all right, Christopher. Yeah, way back 500 years ago, it didn't look like that. What you're talking about for Shakespeare, anyway. Jesus, go look him up. I'm not going to argue with you about Shakespeare. Go look him up. Yes, unfortunately, I had to do a lot of Shakespeare when I was in school.
Oh yeah, this is another version of them. This is one of the parodies that I've done. This is a Hot Topics, it was Hot Topics commissioned this piece for Insane Clown Posse. In fact, a lot of the stuff when I first started doing work for Insane Clown Posse was through Live Nation, who had the license to do them. So that's when I first started doing them, and then later on, a few years after that, I started getting commissions directly from Psychopathic Records to work with them. So, and that's what I've done ever since.
That's cool. And there's a lot of detail in this too, including the colors of the teeth. It's just an interesting angle.
And this, Death Pop is another one. Yeah, you can fly through some of these. They're not that.
Yeah. We're just cruising. Well, y'all can see all of this now, guys, on his website. We're just cruising through. We're just what's going on here?
This was a piece I did for Insane Clown Posse. And if people didn't know who Insane Clown Posse was, when we were talking, these are the guys. This is Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope. And this was the cover to a game that I worked with Rob Bruce on, who is the brother of Violent J and designs all the games for Psychopathic. And it's under Dark Carnival Games. And this was Into the Echo Side, which is a card game, deck building game, actually. And this was one of the pieces that was adorned the front cover of the box.
It's a cool piece, though. It's well, no, guys. Yeah, I just had it minimized there so y'all could see it better. But when you do it like this, you can see all kind of stuff going on.
Yeah, like the stupid stuff, like the ribbing and Shaggy 2 Dope's wife beater and the blood splatter. And
there's just so much going on in this picture. Well, there's a lot of detail going on, guys. You could actually sit here for a while and just go through this and just keep seeing different stuff. Well, that's the fun of good art, I mean, any funky art you can look at one time and okay, wait, what do you want that in your house for?
Yeah. This is Fred Fury. He was the Joker. He's not the recent Joker or the newest Joker, but he's the one right before that. And I had illustrated him He's kind of like this evil genie, and but he's fight back was his message, and he's and you can see this. He was illustrated coming out of this factory called Zug Island, which most juggalos are very familiar with what that is. But you can see this. I wanted him to look just ferocious. I wanted him to look like he was so just full of anger, and so that's what I.
What do you mean? Even his rat friend's angry.
Exactly. Yeah. Flip the Rat is his little buddy there.
It's there's just more stuff in here. We haven't even got down to the bottom yet, guys. Well, we limited on time, people. So I gotta hang on. We're not the whirlwind yet. We still got some time.
Yeah, the Jekyll brothers. You can see those are the characters in the background, and again, I got a chance to use a lot of what I learned with Phoenix and those characters designing this piece. Is just as far as how fire works and stuff like that. But you've got Jack Jekyll on the left side that's happy, and Jake Jekyll on the right side that's kind of like the theater of pain. You've got one happy face and you've got one sad face, and they're kind of opposites of each other. Kind
of reminds me of something I seen in New Orleans. It's because they always do the happy and sad face thing. They love that for some reason. They do it. Matter of fact, they do it in a Joker's face. They just do it in an old school.
All right. Now this piece is a gathering of Jokers. This is all 6 of the first 6 Jokers, and this is one of my favorite pieces. And you can zoom in. There's a ton of detail, even though there's not a lot of colors. Just trying to capture the personalities of all 6 of these guys in one piece was a lot of fun, and then trying to rectify the shading or justify it as it faded out from the light source was really a lot of fun to try. It was challenging, but I think it came out well.
I think he did a good job of it. I mean, it works really well. Like when you see the reflection here and his face kind of fades, you see the shadow come up to the Raven.
Right. Like you can see Carnage's hand is the closest to him, but even the shadow that's cast onto the Wraith's sleeve in the background.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much going on here. Well, we're just scrolling through it, guys, but I mean, there's just a lot of detail here. And we have it blown. Well, no, that's what you can see, like his little furry things, his split tongue, the little dots on the tongue. There's just a lot in there. What's that, Michael? You wish you could draw. Yes, so do I. Get in line, baby. Is all I can tell you.
Yeah, okay. This is the missing link again. You can fly through him. We've already kind of covered.
Me and him got to come to Mardi Gras, man. We got to bring him down to Mardi Gras.
Yeah, Malenko. This was an interesting piece just because he's one of the Jokers, and it was, some really cool underlining, studies on him and his Raven, and I'm trying to capture that light source, and then also make sure that the eye is wet and wicked and looks realistic. It was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah,
this is still one of my favorite pieces. Just the colors.
Yeah, the Raven does great. I love the little shadow of the green blue that comes through here and here and here. It's there's just a lot going on. What do you mean, Michael? I don't know what you're talking about. Speak of English. English. You're talking about the 2 Joker cards? Is that what you're talking about? When whatever that sentence you rewrite, it makes sense. I'll ask. I have no idea what you're talking about. You mean the stitches in the eye? You are on crack.
Yeah, there are stitches in the eye.
No. Wait, what did I do? Too fast there. Sorry, guys.
All right. Yeah, the Oracle. This is the expansion to the first game. Oracle of the 3 Rings was the expansion into the Echo side. So you can see this is, the clowns again, illustrated up in all their glory. And you can see the Oracle, who's this creature that's behind her, and she's in armor, and she's more of a mystical creature that sort of is one of the big bosses in the game.
Yeah, I'll go. That's what he's talking about right here, guys. Yeah. Somebody said, I don't see no woman. I said, because I'm thinking to myself because I haven't scrolled up yet. There's a lot going on in here, too. I mean, there's just a lot going on in here. We had hair. He does hair great for some reason. Don't ask me.
Yeah, it's just time. It's just nothing but time.
Oh, I heard somebody enter another. Well, I'll have to remember to go turn that off in a minute. Oh, wait, Joe, you keep getting on the wrong one. There we go. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, this is almost. has almost a religious feel to it, as far as the drapery of the wraith and the floating of it and these creatures attacking. It was this was a lot of fun to do.
You mean no, Chris? That's a road. I'm talking about down here. Yeah.
Right.
What do you mean? No. All right, I ain't gonna argue with you about that either. And y'all just ornery tonight. He said, "It's not a road." I said, "It looks like a road to me." This guy should not be eating candy, man.
Exactly. Well, this was, when you get into the details of this character, he was a lot of fun. I did him, I drew this probably a year and a half ago. Last October, I released it. And, but, if you listen to the song, he was killed and then he's come back to this side and he kills kid, or he offers candy to these kids, and it's either got razor blades in it or these acid drops with this green fume coming off of them. Is what he gives to the kids and tries to,
He doesn't look friendly, guy.
He's not friendly. He looks like he might be fun.
Look like he's gonna eat your kid. You better watch out.
That's right. But this was a lot of fun. Just having him be so wretched looking. Even the fact that when he was originally killed, he was knifed in the head, and you could see some of the old blood stain splatter on the back of his collar, and the stitching coming apart in his old ice cream man jacket.
There's a great there's just, like I said, what we were talking about a minute ago, there's just lots of detail. Y'all can spend a lot of time going through his artwork. Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, Youngin, this is the newest Joker. This is the one they just released a few months ago, and she is really this Joker that's a plant and a woman, the first woman Joker, and she's supposedly very beautiful on the outside, but a beast on the inside. And that's when I drew this one. I drew her as a Venus flytrap, almost like the bulb that would open up and be able. And then inside, it's just this monster. This is all conceived by Insane Clown Posse and Shaggy Two Dope and Violent J. They actually come up with all these concepts when they're not performing or doing tours and stuff like that. So they're extremely busy guys. To come and have the imagination they do is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is. It kind of reminds me of Little Shop of Horrors for some reason.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
It's got that same feel, I guess. It's there's a lot going on there too, guys. I mean, y'all could sit here and look through this for hours. There's just a lot going on. Well, people, we got another roll of this. So I guess just got to be patient. Here we go.
Yeah, sports characters. You can just jump down to like Bird versus Magic.
Whoa, this guy.
Yeah, Liddell.
He looks like he's
into UFC fighting.
He looks like he's having he needs an enema, man. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking.
Fun to
wait. We still got about 10 minutes, so we can kind of slow cruise through them real quick. All right, this guy's got a nice bust going on. He's at Steelers. He's having fun. Y'all don't know who this guy is, people? Come on, work on it. Dun dun dun.
Yeah,
dun, dun, dun.
He was he was the man in Pittsburgh for years.
He was. You don't get people. You don't see the bus. Gosh, these people are lame tonight. Y'all must not be football fans. Oh, I can tell you. Unless someone would have known that in less than a second, man. He'd have been like, come on, y'all people, y'all got to know who this guy is.
Yeah, I work with, actually, I was lucky enough to meet Hulk Hogan in Vegas, and then I worked with him on several pieces after that, whether it was NWO or his slot machines that he was working on, and, other stuff like that. But, yeah, he was always a lot of fun to work with. This was an older piece. This was probably done back in '99. So it's been around a while. Yeah,
it's a good piece though. Age hasn't really affected.
Yeah, this was done in '97. This is one of my older caricatures that I'd done, and the resolution is not good, but I got a chance to do, my heroes in basketball, which was Gary Payton, Karl Malone, Olajuwon, Shaq, Ewing, Penny Hardaway, Grant Hill, Michael Jordan, of course. So yeah, that piece was done a long time ago.
Peyton, you do.
But yeah.
Come on, guys. He's playing in Tampa right now. You got that England ticket no more. He need to redo this picture, right, and put some Tampa Bay on there, man.
It needs to be updated for sure. No doubt.
Come on, people. Y'all know who Gronk is. Give me a break, man. Just give me a break.
But yeah,
There's a
these
lot
are all
going
fun
on.
pieces, and every one of these pieces, without the rest of the typography or type that goes on there, and layout. This was the illustration portions of apparel pieces that was done at Starter or through Reebok over the years. So they all eventually ended up on T-shirts.
There you go, people. You might be wearing one of these, man.
Yeah.
Oh, we know who this is.
Not Peyton, but Eli Manning.
Eli
This was
Manning.
done after the Giants had won the World Series. Did they win the World Series? I can't remember. They got into the
ask me,
not World Series, Super Bowl rather. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is right after he beat the undefeated New England Patriots.
Ah, right.
The only man in the world that can say that, by the way, beat the undefeated New England Patriots. Yes, this little crazy quarterback come in. Matter of fact, he beat New England twice in the Super Bowl. They've never been able to beat him in the Super Bowl. Don't ask me, people, because he's weird. He's like his brother. But no, they're Kuyons. Y'all didn't know that? Oh no, the Manning boys are Kuyons. Oh yeah, they big time redneck Kuyons. Yeah, they do. They. Matter of fact, they keep a place not far from where I live.
Really?
It's actually called Manning Lane, and they got a big, massive camp back there, and they shack up in there all the time. And not far from there, Brett Favre's got a place. Oh yeah, some of the greatest quarterbacks in the world come from Mississippi. People, y'all didn't know that? Oh yes, indeed. Edward L. Jones come from Mississippi too. Y'all didn't know that either, did y'all? Mr. got paid $7,000 to do Star Wars. I'd be saying, "Where's my residuals, man?"
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man! There he is. And speaking of the devil, when he shows up, he's a character and a half. I've heard him talk a few times.
Yeah, this piece. Maybe you could zoom in on this one. This one. Even though when I started doing characters, these guys had pretty much already left the league or was on their way out, so I never got a chance to do them until recently. And then I did a throwback series for Reebok, probably 3 or 4 years ago, and then I got it. They told me to do Bird Magic, which I'd always dreamed of doing when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a lot of fun, and it's also seen a lot of new sales ever since.
How's a show coming on?
Ever since that show on HBO Max came on, the Winning. I don't know if you've seen Winning Time. It's kind of like the story of Magic Johnson and when his rookie year.
Oh, I think it did actually. I think my son made me watch it actually.
Yeah, it's really good.
He's a big sports freak. He's in almost all sports. I was way more when I was younger. These days, for some reason, I don't get as much time as I do. You know what it is? I don't think I have the emotions to invest in anymore because they need to be other places.
No, yeah, I definitely sympathize with you there.
Yeah, so it's one of them things. I mean, I still like them. It just doesn't seem to work out for me.
Right.
I love the shoestring hanging out and stuff. It's man, you should have done what's his name, Jordan, and when he did that cartoon movie. I can't remember. Yeah, I hate my brain's going. Oh, here's Madman again.
Yeah. This is
okay. And I love this with the spray cans, man. What's going on here, man?
Well, he just left WWF and went before it was WWE and went down and did WCW with the NWO and stuff like that. And that's when I met him in Vegas. And I had done this piece at Starter at the time, and I sort of just waved it to him from the corner, and he seen me, and he waved me up in front of this line that stretched around half the building, and we sat there and talked for like 15 minutes, and everybody was getting pissed off. But we traded information, and then we worked on several projects after that, and that was a lot of fun.
Well, he knows talent. He's not stupid, so a lot of people think because he wrestled, he was stupid. People didn't realize Hulk wasn't. It's like what is it, The Rock? People think he's stupid too, but he's not either.
Right.
It's people make assumptions. Oh, baseball. Here we go.
Yeah, I got a little baseball. Chris Bryant, some of the newer stuff. But
man, you just he's got a great looking face. Let's see. Oh, women, shut up! I ain't even answering none of those questions.
Yeah.
So, there's Rogers again.
And his double discount signature move.
Yes, he's just trouble, people. Aaron Rodgers is trouble. He like Brett Favre. Him and Brett, and they were both Green Bay quarterbacks. They were both trouble.
Yeah, they were both of them legends.
I tell you, one of the best games I ever seen was Green Bay. Green Bay and the Saints, or was it? Who was he playing for? I don't think he was playing for Green Bay at the time. Brett Favre was a great game, man. I went all the way down to the wire. I was surprised the Saints actually won the game because Saints went on to win the Super Bowl after that. But that was the Super Bowl as far as the Saints were concerned.
Yeah.
They easily handled Peyton Manning, which was a surprise. But, for me, I was tore for the Super Bowl because if the Saints would have lost, I'd have been upset. But Peyton Manning's a local boy, so it wouldn't have been as bad.
That's true.
So
numb the pain a little bit.
It numbed it a little bit. We'll just say a little bit. What do you mean? I think we good on. Oh wait, what's this?
Oh yeah, this is Meridian Design Works. That's a lot of my corporate clients. The stuff that I do for, Pepsi and Frito-Lay, NASCAR, that kind of stuff. People want to, if there's people that's interested in company and logo design and that kind of stuff, which I also do. Meridian Design Works is the way to get there. Is how you should, reach out to me. When it comes to fantasy art, that's TomWoodFantasyArt.com, and which I sell on TomWoodFantasyArt.com. I actually sell prints and other stuff on the website from that. But this is mostly just a portal for my corporate clients.
Yeah, so you could take lots of stuff in here. So, well, y'all go look and see the people he's worked for and stuff like that. For all y'all young illustrators out there or old illustrators who's trying to get in, this is a good thing for y'all to take a look at. What do you mean? Oh no, Tom charges $5,000 an hour for teaching, man. Just, unless you win, right? As illustrators of the future,
then it's free.
Then it's free. No, I'm not kidding you, people. And I get 10%, people. So I'm gonna get all kind of email. I can see it coming. That's just so much, and we're just running out of time, people. We're actually running over, but I just wanted y'all to get a good look through. You can go to the website and take a look through. And look around. There's lots of stuff in here. Oh, look at the Pepsi microphone. It's Pepsi, boo. Did I say that out loud? Shh, Joe. Bad Joe. I love Pepsi. Yes, Pepsi, you're great. I love you, Pepsi. I like Heineken. I like everything. What can I say? No, yeah, these are logo designs. Lots of cool stuff in here.
Yeah. And as far as an artist, it's good to, if you're running your own business, you want to be able to cast a wide net as far as doing, super fantasy type illustrations and very detailed stuff, and then being able to also step back from that and do more vector looking, two-dimensional designs and stuff like that, because logos pay good money, to the right clients anyway.
They do, people. Yeah, he's not lying. Logos pay big money if you get them to the right client, because people need a good logo. I mean, we've had several logo designs over the years, which I'm getting ready actually probably to have a new one made. It's just Stephanie did the last one. She did a great job on the last one. But, every so often it's time to make a new one. This station's had, between UFO Paranormal and us in 25 years, we've probably had 6 or 7 different designs for our logos. We actually keep 3 or 4 logos in stock at all times. Like there's a flip version of the one now that's done in purple and white. That just we keep a couple of things around, but no, indeed not. We can't afford nobody like time to make no damn. What are you, lost your mind, Gene? Jesus. And for you people who just wrote about you can do this shit on PicMonkey, I come on, I'll pay you money to see that. That's just what I see. It's not that I don't think you can't make good banners and good logos of PicMonkey. I think you can, but not in Tom's quality. I'm sorry, guys. You're just having fantasies. It's no, I'm serious. Well, go ahead and give it a try. You can't hurt nothing. You're not gonna hurt my feelings any. No. I mean, go for it. Oh, you want to submit a design to the station? Feel free. Yeah, we are. Like I just said, we're going to be looking. We're getting ready to redo 2 websites, and so if you want to submit. It's I tell you what, we do a lot of times. For the one before this one, we actually gave away a radio show to someone who made the design for us. It was a great design. It was around for a long time. It put both stations together. It was in the middle of the transition. When we transitioned from UFO Paranormal Radio to United Public, but we were still keeping UFO, so it was a transition band. It was a great band. It did a great job on it. We gave the guy a radio show for a year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1-hour show for a year. Yeah, we do that kind of stuff, and we swap for a lot of stuff because we have a lot of advertisement out there and we reach a lot of people. Well, let me explain something to you before I let Tom go. You can reach 1 million people. You can reach 5 million people. Doesn't mean they're going to buy anything from you. I learned that one the hard way. When I first got in radio, I figured, okay, I'm getting $1 million a week. I should be making more money. So we'd put up things for sale, different things. And don't get me wrong, you sell stuff, but not you're not going to get rich, not that way anyway. The best way to make money on the internet these days is to be some kind of influencer. I mean, you can sell stuff if you're really good. Like Tom can make money. One, because he's got a reputation. Two, he does great artwork. But other people, it's a lot harder than y'all think to go out there and build up 500,000 listeners on one station and make money on it. It's a lot of places require you have different behaviors and different strictnesses. TikTok wants us to bring our stuff over there, but they got all kind of rules. So I don't know if it's going to happen or not. Now Elon Musk is back with Twitter, so we'll start publishing on Twitter again. Well, we're on Twitter tonight, by the way. We do publish on Twitch, but I'm not sure why. Twitch, we're trying to help these gamers over there, but maybe they'll probably come see Tom's stuff because they probably know who the hell he is. But Twitch, we usually get 1 or 2, maybe 3 people that come listen. Now, if it's a slow gaming day, we'll see more people. Like if there's no really good gamers on Twitch, we'll see more 50, 60, 70 people come in. But when there's a lot of activity with really good games or good games playing, man, we're lucky we see 2 or 3. But it's a gaming channel. That's what it is. Twitch is for gamers. It's you can publish anything you want there, but it is for gamers, and Twitch only allows you to publish for 14 days. So after that, it disappears. So if you're going to see it, you're going to see it. But no, we do it because we have friends over there and different gamers who like us, so we publish over there. And sometimes they'll share it with other people. It's just about letting people know we're around, because a lot of people like to listen to us over the radio because they can do other things. If they turn on the video, then they have to pay attention. And I noticed when Tom and I started posting, so at first we were doing the radio, and then I started seeing people switch over to YouTube because they wanted to see what we were talking about. Yeah, so we'll probably see a couple thousand people on YouTube tonight or tomorrow. Well, there's a lot of artwork to look at, and a lot of people will be viewing it for a while. Remember, you're not allowed to use any of it. You would have to contact Tom Woods. Okay, I'm just telling you people up front because I know how people are. Oh, that's a great picture. Let me put that on my website. No, bad. I know I treat y'all like children people, but sometimes I'm just saying. No, we had somebody on was just before COVID, and he had some of his artwork on. And one afternoon, I was portaling through some game and saying, "Guess what? I see this guy's artwork all over the place." So I call him up. I said, "Oh, you're making some money. You sold it?" And he said, "No, I did not." So they ended up hooking him up and paying him back and all kind of stuff. So he made it all right. It was great work, and they didn't want to take it off their site. So of course they had to fess up and pay for it. And remember, people, just because y'all think it's fair game, whatever the damn law is on the internet, that does not go for published authors or illustrators. That's not how it works. Yeah, if it's copyright or it's tagged or it's signed, you cannot use it without an author's permission or illustrator's permission. Sorry, guys. That's the way it works. I didn't make the laws, and people don't do this to give it away to all you crazies. Oh, yeah. Okay. Real quick. Jack Morrison does one picture a year, and he sends it to us, and then we put it up for auction. But that money goes to, I forgot what charity it is. He makes me give it to every year. But yeah, that's what it's for.
That's cool.
Oh, it's for St. Jude. That's what it's for. I forgot what it was for.
That's a great cause.
Yeah, so he does one picture a year, and he sends it to it. It does, last year it did about 18,000. So it was what was the picture last year? Oh, it was a dragon with it was a standing blue purple dragon with jewels on it, and there was a woman, and a very scantily dressed woman, wrapped inside the arms of the dragon. It's a cool pic. Yeah, it was interesting.
Very cool.
He enjoyed drawing, but no, he doesn't. The sad part is, as good as he is, he doesn't do that for a living. He designs. He designs blueprints. Yeah, he makes about $250,000 a year designing blueprints. That's what he does, or making blueprints. Let me rephrase that. He hand draws the original blueprint, and then it's mass produced. These are for big buildings. These aren't for like homes or anything. Yeah, don't ask me how he does it. It'd be the most boring job on the planet. I tell him that every time I talk to him. We've been friends for about 10 years. I tell him every time, I say, "Still doing that boring job?" "Oh, it's not boring, man." I was like, "Sounds pretty boring to me, man." And he's like, "Oh, Joe, you don't understand, man." I said, "Apparently I don't understand because it sounds boring to me." But I know we got to get out of here in a minute, guys, because we have. No, that's the picture behind. Is that what you're asking? No, that's Tom and I at the Gala event. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because we're both decked out. Yeah, so yeah. Of course we look good, man. We best looking people in a place.
That's right. We were.
We made the movie stars look sad. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, there was movie stars there, and I can't remember his name. He's a real nice guy. I talked to him and his wife last year and this year. He's the guy who replaced
Richard Grieco.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And he's a lot of fun to talk to. Well, he asked me last year, this year, about going out, but last year I already had plans, and this year I was actually tired. I hadn't slept in like 3 days. I said I need some rest, man. And no, I'm serious, people. When you get there, it's a lot of fun, but I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a lot of work. Whether you're there as a judge, whether you're there because they're a winner, if you're there like I am for press, or if you're one of the many people that's involved with this, it's a lot of work. And actually, I'm glad you asked me that, Stephanie. I will be publishing more of those pictures this week. Well, Jason, one of the guys who works for Author Services, sent me over about 500. I just took 500 out of my camera, and I'm going to take about another 500 out of my phone. And I'll start publishing this weekend sometime, and we'll look at them all. Well, what I did is took at least 5 pictures of every person, and that way I can go through and see which ones I like the best. Just some interesting poses. I'm really good about getting people unexpected. Matter of fact, Tim Powers asked me when he gave everybody 24 hours to go around and get a picture of everybody unsuspecting. And I did. I'm a dog. They're down in their laptops or their pants. Like, I was like, yes, I was evil. What can I say? But again, if you want to become part of Writers of the Future or Illustrators of the Future, just join. Go over to galaxypress.com or go over to writingtothefuture.com, and join. It's easy. You can submit 4 times a year. The worst that's going to happen is they're going to tell you submit again. That's the worst that's going to happen. That's right. You might get honorable mention. You might win. To answer that question, there are some first-time winners. Not a lot, but there are some. 1 or 2 a year. Last year, there seemed to be a few more, but oh, no. I know people who went 36, 38 times before they won. I know a lot of people who won it 13, 14, 15 times. Remember, you can submit 4 times a year. So we're not talking years here. You're getting 4 times a year. So submitting 14 times is like 3.5 years. Yeah, right. It's not like, or like, somebody said, God, 36 years. No, it wasn't 36 years, but it was 7 or 8 for sure. But you got to submit.
Yeah, and it costs nothing to do that.
It costs nothing. Actually, if I remember, they fly y'all out for free. They pay for your hotel room. You got to pay for your food, and they hook you up to Gala, but you got to pay for your tux. That's the only thing y'all have to pay for. Everything else they cover. I'm not kidding y'all. Everything else they cover. So get out there. Oh, you own a tux? Well, you got to win first, dumbass. Don't matter if you own a tux. I own 2 tuxes, but that don't help me any if I don't win. Well, I get invited because of press, but still. No, go out. And if you go to Gala, you get to meet a lot of different people. So far, I met the guy who owns Dragon Con, which is an interesting character. I met the guy who owns FanX, is another interesting character. I've been invited to both places to set up a table. So, these are just contacts you're not going to get anywhere else. I met a couple of movie stars last year and this year. I met Jethro Tull's drummer last year. He was a blast, by the way. Was he high? No, actually, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Well, I don't know what drugs he used to do, but he wasn't high at the Saturday night thing. No, he's a nice guy. Yeah, we talked for. Matter of fact, somebody got his number. I got to call him. I was supposed to call him last year, but I forgot. No, he's a really nice guy. We talked for I don't know, an hour or so. Yeah, it's okay. It's chit chatting and things like that. And wait, come here, you. This should be your next model right here, man.
Nice. Oh yeah,
I can work model, man. There we go. Let's show off our.
Yeah, I'm already inspired. I'm just going to tell you, I'm already inspiration is just
none of that. I love you too, but none of that. Just get your demon ass down on the floor. It's she thinks she sounds like a rooster, by the way. If anybody knows what a rooster sounds like out there, she'll go off on this thing. I'm like, dog, shut up. But she knows she'll be quiet all day. She knows when I'm on air now. And she wants to come be on TV. She won't be happy until I pick her up just like I did and put her up where she can be seen. And then she'll do it 2 or 3 times, and then she goes on her way. One of my other dogs was like that. He wanted to be seen. He was like, he knew he would actually look at himself on the camera. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. You got a bigger ego than I do, dog. He'd be like staring and he's like posing. And so I'm like, get the hell out of here. Oh, man. My big one wasn't like that, but the little one he was a poser. No, guys, we got to go. Tom, you've been great as usual, man. You're always a fantastic person.
Thanks, Joe. I've had a lot of fun.
Yeah, your work is beautiful. So all I can say is keep it up. I know they're trying to kill you. That's the problem with being popular, ladies and gentlemen. They try to kill you, and every now and then they succeed. So I always tell all my friends, be careful. Well, that's what happens. Tom and I were talking, but sometimes it gets hard to fill everybody's request because it becomes overwhelming sometimes. And in today's society, it's tough. And then we're coming out of COVID. A lot of people got a lot of ideas. A lot of people I'm talking to are just scattering all over the place trying to get things done. We've been talking about putting up the new FM station, which is going to design all kind of crap's going to be required for that. There's just so much going on in everybody's lives right now. And if you're sitting at home when your ass doing nothing, shame on you. Because I can find something for you to do. Trust me. Oh yeah, I can. And if you
just get out a sketchbook and play.
That's right. Oh yeah, you draw stick man like me. What does it matter? It's no, I'm serious. When I tell you, I have seen my stepson, my stepdaughters, all of them, and have artistic talent. Matter of fact, I paid for one of them to go to art school. She's just a fabulous artist. She did illustrating for a company for a long time before she retired. And she retired early. She retired, I think, at 42. And she still does artwork, but she does it for herself. And it just different. But they were all talented, but a lot of them didn't want to do it for a living.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to do other stuff. And my wife loves to draw, but she won't. And she's a great painter. I remember she was painting on glass to make it look like stained glass. And she said, "Oh, it's ugly. It'll never sell." She went out of town and took every piece in the house and brought it down to the local flea market and sold every piece. And
wow.
she was like, "What?" I said, "I told you it'd sell, baby. It's fabulous."
That's great.
But some people don't have that oomph, and some people just don't want to do it. But people, if you think you're talented and you want to be this in a career, submit. If you can win at Illustrators, you have a good chance of getting a job. And for all you people out there, and I'll mention this again before we leave, a gaming company came to New Orleans last year. They're hiring 100 people at $100,000 a year to start. Wow. Now, not all of them are artists, but a lot of them are going to be illustrators because they need illustrators. Also, they're going to need storyboard writers. And, of course, they're going to need text to put everything together. Programmers, actually, I should say. So those are jobs that are going to be, and they do things in teams. So it's not all going to be on you. There may be 5, 6, 10 illustrators. There may be more. There may be 10, 20 story writers. There may be 30, 40 programmers. But games are made. It takes a lot to make a game. I'm just telling you. Most people don't have no idea what goes into making a freaking video game. Mm-hmm. Oh no, it's way more involved, especially the new ones. They're way, 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 way more involved than most people realize. But be sure to go check out Tom. Want to give me your website one more time before we roll up out of here?
Oh, it's TomWoodFantasyArt.com.
That's an easy one, people. Come on. He's like,
really easy.
Keeping them short and simple. Well, because the more complicated it is, the less chance somebody's going to use it. It's just how it is. On that note, guys and girls, we got to go. I know the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche is on right now. She's probably cussing us both right now in some Canadian language we've never heard of before.
Yeah, we don't want to piss her off. Well, Joe, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
It's always great, guys. On that note, guys and girls, y'all just hang out and then go check out Michelle and tell me what she's doing. Good night, everybody.